More story, fewer stunts. Inspired by the recent Mission Impossible movie, I've curated this list of books that might appeal to those who are fans. While the second Mission Impossible movie was my favorite, this most recent installment is a win for me because of the AI sci-fi elements. If we're talking TV counterparts, I'd suggest the show Person of Interest, which has a ton in common with this movie, mostly the parts where an AI is infiltrating all things electronic, calculating probable outcomes, and manipulating humans to do its bidding. We are talking about books though, and the clearest match to Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning for me is Adam Roberts' 2016 novel, The Thing Itself. In the movie, Tom Cruise is racing the clock and racing against many adversaries to stop an artificial intelligence that's become sentient. The AI, using the tools at its disposal, namely the electronic infrastructure of the world and satellites in orbit, to manipulate individuals and events, seeks to promote and protect its own existence, and presumably increase its power. I've now also just discussed much of the plot of Adam Roberts' fantastic novel, The Thing Itself. The novel begins in the Arctic North. Scientists Charles Gardner and Roy Curtius are attempting to answer the Fermi paradox. This is the idea that the universe is so massive with so many star systems, with planets capable of supporting life, suggests the likely existence of intelligent non-human life, which is contradicted by the fact that we've not found or met alien life or even signs of its existence. In Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise is pitted against Gabriel, the bad guy who's receiving his marching orders, electronically of course, from the AI entity. Alternatively, in Roberts' novel, the main character Gardner is the sort of good guy carrying around an electronic device and being directed by an AI entity. In both stories, government agencies are also there to complicate things for and bargain with the main characters. Whereas the movie is more of an action thriller with emphasis on action, The Thing Itself is thrilling, but with more of a philosophical deep dive into the intentions of the AI and an application of Immanuel Kant's theory of transcendental realism to the question of alien life. Kant theorized that a thing, what it looks like, its shape, color, etc., the time in which it exists, and the space it occupies cannot be truly known to us because our perception of said thing is manifest through our senses. We are limited. We cannot truly know the thing in itself. Do time and space even exist, or again, are these simply a design of our making? Adam Roberts spends the better part of this novel illustrating the idea to us, and of course applies it to answering the Fermi paradox. Like the movie, there are fights and violence, but no motorcycles jumping off of mountains. Leaning into murder's AI screwing with computer viruses, manipulating the electronic infrastructure, and self-preservation, the next two novels are obvious to me, and those are Neal Stephenson's Snow Crash and Arthur C. Clarke's 2001: A Space Odyssey. Intriguing in Mission Impossible is the introduction of the AI as a computer program that begins acting like a virus and infiltrating previously secure and top-secret classified systems. The threat posed is obvious. In Stephenson's Snow Crash, nefarious forces are unleashing a virus in the digital virtual reality world of the metaverse. In the metaverse, the virus acts as a computer virus, destroying avatar versions of humans in the metaverse. This virus also infects real-world users. Real-world users begin speaking in tongues, among other things, like going nutso. While this isn't an AI claiming sentience storyline, it might still appeal to Mission Impossible fans because of the digital world implications and some thrilling motorcycle and car chases. Also, there's a very cool male and female hero duo. Hero protagonist, proficient with sword and motorcycle, and a teenage skateboarding heroine, YT, or yours truly. 2001: A Space Odyssey will scratch your newly sentient AI itch. The parallel to the MI7 movie is HAL 9000, the onboarded computer running a spaceship while his crew is in suspended animation. Beyond this, Mission Impossible and 2001 have very little in common. If you watch MI7 and you think, I'd like to have seen more of how the computer became sentient or some of the conflict along the way, this could be a really great read for you. How the crew perceives HAL as malfunctioning and HAL's efforts to deceive or take control to survive presents much to consider about survival, consciousness, and evolution. I'm currently rereading Lois McMaster Bujold's really great space opera series, the vorkosigan Saga, and this series is a great match for this list. At this point, I'll be less specific with the parallels as I include this because Mission Impossible and the vorkosigan Saga both have a lot of espionage, spy games, deceit, what have you. The series is huge and there's again a ton of space opera. It's military sci-fi, there's parts that are haunting, sometimes AI gets a lot of page time, but the stars are the world building and the cast. I always suggest starting this series with Shards of Honor and Barriar. In Shards, two of the series' prime characters, Cordelia Naismith and Errol Vorkosigan, are introduced. Errol is an important political figure from the military-minded world of Barriar, and Cordelia is a ship captain, explorer, researcher from the less warmongery world, Beta. The real star of this series is the child that they eventually have together, Miles. Miles is an interesting hero. He has a disability that's very present and a very dynamic personality. Most of the books in the series have elements of espionage, but the two that I'd point to first are the Vor Games and the Warrior's Apprentice. I'd suggest the Warrior's Apprentice, as you can get quickly into it right after reading the first two books, Shards of Honor and Barriar. If you start with Shards of Honor, you'll meet Cordelia as her expeditionary group on a foreign planet is attacked by a Barriaran force, supposedly led by the notorious Barriaran, vorkosigan. Right from the get-go, there is action and fleeing and chasing, double agent stuff and deception galore. To really scratch the spy game itch, though, it's most prevalent in the Vor Games and the Warrior's Apprentice. You'll be captivated following Miles vorkosigan and his fake identity, covert operations, and lots of great action. Now let's swing the pendulum, the needle, whatever, back to AI. In Mission Impossible, let's pretend that the AI wins, and it's just the beginning. Where can we go with it? Of course, there's the Terminator lane with the rise of the machines and worldwide apocalypse, but I'm going to point you in another direction. Diaspora by Greg Egan, published in 1997. Egan imagines an Earth in the far future wherein humanity is splintered into three forms or options. Those who choose to remain flesh and blood humans do so. They are known as the Fleshers, and with the support of necessary bioengineered enhancements, are able to exist in a more hostile Earth environment. Fins, gills, or scales, anybody? There are the Gleisner robots. Human consciousness is downloaded into a robot or android body, certainly a more formidable physical structure than just an organic body. Finally, there are the citizens. These are humans that exist as consciousnesses on what are known as polises. Polis is sort of another name for a mobile hard drive. Communities of citizens create their own avatars and environments in a pseudo-hologram, holodeck type situation. The book is fascinating and follows humanity as it sets out from a threatened Earth to explore the stars. Humanity will seek out new territories, alien life, and try to outrun an imminent galaxy or even universe-wide apocalyptic event. This is one of my favorite science fiction novels of all time. It's among the hardest of hard science fiction novels, and I highly recommend it. The Imperial Right trilogy by Leckie, published in 2013 through 2015. There's enough in this series, and especially the first book of the series, Ancillary Justice, to warrant its placement on my list. There's definitely a mood in the Mission Impossible universe that not everybody is who they seem, and it's not always clear who can be trusted and who's on what side. So, do you serve yourself, the powers that be, the forces of evil, or the greater good? Ancillary Justice will definitely strike that chord. Leckie dumps us right into a foreign world and introduces characters, some of who are independent and others who aren't. Leckie presents ancillaries, or basically human avatars for a sentient artificial intelligence. The main character, Breck, was at one time the sentient AI of a transport ship. This book also shares a similar revenge theme with MI7, as Breck is highly motivated by the murder of somebody close to her. The novel reveals Breck's journey for revenge and to some extent self-awareness. At the end of the journey, presumably, will be her greatest foe, the powers that be. Like MI7, it's not always clear who's an enemy or who's the foe. The idea that the powers that be are seemingly insurmountable provides a great feel of mystery throughout. Find a full review of Ancillary Justice on my video page. Perhaps you can think of other science fiction novels that would be a good fit for this list. If so, I'd like to hear from you in the comments. While you're at it, please support this channel and this content by liking and subscribing. A few bonus titles for you to consider for spy, espionage, or AI stuff that might be a bit more of a leap for this list are Hard to be a God by Boris and Arkady Strugatsky, Use of Weapons, a novel in Ian M. Banks' Culture series, or Speaker for the Dead, the sequel to Ender's Game. I've talked about all of these elsewhere on my channel if you want to look those up. Thank you for watching. I'm Michael Everts, and this is Fit to be Read.